Hey guys, what's going on? Back again with another zombies video, and for this one, I want to talk about something that I keep hearing, and I saw it again a couple days ago. Somebody mentioned it, and I think it's kind of trending right now in the zombies community. And as you can tell by the title, it's going to be about the big lie or the way that people keep associating hardcore zombie players as the big, toxic, negative, hateful zombie YouTube channels. That it's actually the complete opposite. Those big negative toxic zombie YouTubers that have like close to a million or even over a million viewers and subs, they're actually the complete opposite of the hardcore zombie player. They're actually they're the most toxic ones. They don't play the game. The last zombies game that they probably played, as you guys know, is probably Black Ops 3. They keep, wishing for Zombie Chronicles 2, and they keep mentioning Black Ops 3. The truth is, and it's pretty sad because it's kind of like what they tell you maybe in history class or maybe on the news that like people know that if you lie about something uh, enough times, you get more people believing it. Then you get more people believing it. Then those people let's say you tell like one person, that person tells another person, and then that person tells like three other people, then those three people tell like another 10 people, and it just grows and grows like a virus. That again, those big negative toxic zombie YouTubers are not the hardcore zombie players. Again, they're the pretty much the opposite of that. They play the game once. They pump out a video, they pump out clickbait, they pump out maybe hate videos, kind of like what we were seeing obviously with Black Ops 4, Cold War, and now Vanguard. That's literally three games in the last about 4 years. And then going back to even Black Ops 3, the last game that they played, when it's the strangest thing too. Again, like I know I'm gonna go over this and I'm gonna go over stuff um, over and over again. It's gonna be like a broken record, but the last game that they played and liked was Black Ops 3 because Black Ops 3 was super duper easy. You got like three wonder weapons, the zombies, the guns were OP. You had all your perks and stuff like that. You had gobble gums. That was the easy. Like they literally want every game to be the easiest game ever. So you think now it's been 7 years, and the ironic thing is, which I don't even understand, is, and again, I do this more for the devs, but I think the devs are pretty smart that they know this. It's just that like when I see people in the actual zombies community or maybe even other zombie YouTubers mention it, that like it just blows my mind that like they've been lied to so many times that they actually start believing the lie. It's like I don't know what it could be related to. Maybe even sports, where like people start saying this is the best athlete in the world, but he's not. There's other players better than him or her, and then people start believing it. But again, I saw it very recently, and I was like, that was maybe like the last straw. That again, people start believing that the toxic big channels that the last game that they played, that they're the hardcore gamer. It's actually quite the opposite. I would be more okay if people were more honest and said, look, we want Vanguard to be, if they themselves said, hey, we want Vanguard to be catered for us so we can make content. Who cares about the other millions and millions and millions of players and hardcore zombie players and hardcore gamers? Who cares about them? We just want a game catered for them. Which I think would be like absurd, but I would be okay with them being honest about it. Um, like just stop beating around the bush, stop trying to sugarcoat stuff. They just want content catered to them. They want easy zombies. And again, I know there's stuff that's been going on Twitter about the Easter egg, and they want the Easter eggs catered to the big channels, not necessarily the hardcore gamers, because if anything, right now what you're seeing in Vanguard, the Easter eggs are catered for the hardcore players. The hardcore players that want to go high rounds and do high rounds and go multiple rounds. Well, now it's not really high rounds. Now it's you get to choose what rounds you get to go to. Um, but everything now is more catered to the hardcore zombies player. And it's just like, again, this big lie that is being told and is trying to like change the past and trying to change historic fact that like zombie YouTubers are not the hardcore gamers and hardcore zombie players. They're actually the quite opposite. They only go in, they play a couple rounds, they talk to their chat. They're not sitting in front of the TV, concentrating on the game and stuff like that. Like, again, I mentioned a couple days ago, one of these quote unquote big channels, or the toxic zombie YouTubers, they can't even complete the Easter egg on Vanguard on Terra Maledicta, let alone consider themselves the hardcore zombie player. It's just so crazy how, again, you lie enough times. It happens in politics, it happens in sports, it happens in the news, it probably happens in real life, maybe even your town, where like stuff throughout the years gets changed, and then people start believing it, thinking that that was fact or what was actually happened. Maybe even like in movies where I think the Joker talks about getting a scar, and then like maybe the story changes over time, then people start believing it. But it just blows my mind that I heard very recently, a couple days ago, that people again are saying or buying into the lie that the hardcore zombie players are the big channels. It's quite literally, and the sad part is, like, usually I do this, like I said, for the devs, so the devs can kind of get a truth of what's going on, or my perspective, because they do listen. The devs at Treyarch and Call of Duty, they do listen. A lot of the devs do listen and want ideas and stuff like that. But so I don't really think this is catered, or directed towards the devs, because the devs know that those are the most toxic players. They're not the hardcore zombie player at all. They're pretty much the furthest thing on the other end of the spectrum. They're the worst players. They haven't played, again. They haven't. I'm gonna actually purposely keep repeating it so it can maybe, people can start understanding the truth. They're the complete opposite of what you consider a hardcore zombie player. The last real game that they played or liked was Black Ops 3, because of, like I said, it was easy. You got tons of wonder weapons. You had gobblegums. They only play with Perkaholic. There's no Perkaholic, in Vanguard. So Vanguard right now is already catered to the hardcore zombie player. What people are saying, either they're just like lying or they're just being fooled. That the truth is, they want it catered, and I wish they would just come out and say it. Like the big toxic negative channels, they should just say, hey, we want it easier so we can make content, so we can make money. We're bad at solving stuff. We want, and I think that's the other thing too. I want to just switch to real quick. It's about the story and cutscenes and stuff like that. They want, everything hand delivered to them, and that's exactly why, like I mentioned, and I'm hope people see it now, that I'm not just, blowing hot air or blowing smoke, whatever. That it's true. I used to hand deliver all the answers to the big channels. Now that I don't do that, they want it hand delivered to them from Treyarch, and it's just crazy to think that, like, how it's actually out there, and people are, like I said, I'm okay with it if if these big negative toxic channels said, hey, we want content catered to us so we can make money and promote your game. Like I said, it's some sort of extortion type stuff that's going on, where they don't want to promote the game unless Call of Duty Treyarch caters it to them, whatever the case is. I think, if anything, Black Ops 4 and Cold War, showed Treyarch that, like, they can survive without these negative toxic zombie YouTubers. That, you put out good map for the majority of the audience or the players, and you're gonna succeed. Outbreak taught us that. Die Machine taught us that. Like, hey, if we fix the game and cater it to the hardcore players, where you give them the new game style play or new gameplay types, that it's gonna succeed, because you can't just always keep pumping out Black Ops 3 over and over every single year. You can't give us like 10 wonder weapons, and then they're just going to complain. And I tried to mention this to Kevin Drew on Twitter. is like no matter what they do, um, no matter what the devs, Treyarch, Call of Duty does, the negative, toxic environment that's in those zombie YouTubers, they're just gonna say that they want the opposite. If you give them easy Easter eggs on launch or hardcore Easter eggs on launch, they're just gonna cry and say we want easier Easter eggs, or we don't want it on launch and stuff like that. Which I tried to mention to him. I said, you do realize that um, these people that are complaining about it also complain that they didn't want the Easter eggs in the map on launch. On release, they wanted a couple days to get familiar with the maps, so they can then go in and do the Easter eggs. So like they can't win. It's just that people. The unfortunate truth um, is people want the studio, no matter what it is, if it's a game, map, multiplayer, to cater towards their YouTube channel or Twitch channel. And it's the same thing we're going through with Warzone. Is Warzone has a harder map now because there's more trees and more places to hide. The unfortunate truth is that if you look at Warzone versus Rebirth or Caldera versus Rebirth, people are jumping on Rebirth because it's the easier map to get content with. You go on Caldera, it's a big open world, and it's harder to get kills. People are in trees and hiding, and there's a lot of bushes, and it's supposed to be like, the Pacific, World War II Pacific and stuff like that. You can't have a World War II game and then have Vanguard or in a big city. Like that stuff isn't real. So it's like I said again, just to kind of sum it up again for probably the millionth time. I'm okay with it if people just are straightforward. It's like, hey, we don't know how to play the game. We're not good at it. They don't know the story. They're bad at figuring out the story. They're bad at piecing stuff together. Cater it to us or to them, the big channels, the big toxic negative channels. Cater it to them that, give us an easy story, give us cut scenes, give us easy map, give us 10 wonder weapons, so they can kind of make easier content and stuff like that. Again, if it wasn't clear, and I'm not gonna promote the troll, but there is one of the biggest zombie trolls that couldn't even get the shield unlocked, couldn't get the tomb of rituals unlocked, and the fact that that is shown that how bad they are, and then they want everything catered to them, and then they're being labeled as the hardcore zombie player, it just blows my mind. And like I literally am willing to repeat this for 20 minutes so people get it, or start understanding that, like, people are lying enough times that people actually start believing that the toxic big channels are the hardcore players. They're not the hardcore player. Again, they're the most total opposite. They want everything easy for them. They want everything. Um, they just don't want to be exposed. They want to pretend like they're the hardcore player. They want to pretend like Vanguard is too difficult for them. But Vanguard right now is pretty much as easy as it gets. Like I said, I didn't know anything about the Easter egg steps. I didn't have it leaked to me. I didn't go. I wasn't stupid enough to read the leaks or look at the cutscenes or look at anything. I completed the shield and the Tomb of Rituals and some of the side Easter eggs on my own without even looking anything up. Um, but I'm not here to kind of make content to kind of promote or whatever. It's just Zombies lost its touch of like being just to play and try and go high round. I actually don't even know why I'm standing still in in this gameplay, but again, um, it just blows my mind that I saw very recently that, um, again, people are saying that the big toxic channels are the hardcore zombie players. They're absolutely not the hardcore zombie players. They're, again, the worst of the worst. They don't know how to piece the story together. They don't know how to look for Easter eggs. They don't know any of the pop culture references. They don't, and again, I know it's kind of like, it's kind of pointless because as soon as COVID's over, we know who's going to get invited to the studio. We know who Treyarch and Call of Duty are gonna send care packages to. We know who they're gonna, what channels they're gonna promote. You know that like certain things are gonna go on. I just wish that like, I mean, the only thing I would say like, or I don't know if like they just want a little bit more callbacks to the old games more than anything. But again, the lies that are going or I'm seeing on Twitter and YouTube that like the toxic channels are the ones that are the hardcore zombie players. They're like, I don't know how many times I need to say it, they're the complete opposite of the hardcore gamer. They want everything just catered to them. They actually don't want. They probably don't even want to play the game. I guess if Call of Duty and Treyarch just said it, here's $20,000. You know, they probably still wouldn't even like make any content. They just for some reason stupidly just want money handed to them. They don't want to create any content. I think if anything, Call of Duty Treyarch Activision needs to reward the actual hardcore gamers. And what other way they know? I mean, I don't know. I'm not trying to figure out any ideas, but like they need to kind of like um, reward. And I've been saying this, I think, beginning of Vanguard is like the people in the public lobbies need to get rewarded more than these negative, toxic channels. That again, the last game that they played was Black Ops 3, which is 7 years ago, 8 years ago. They didn't. They hated and got Blundell fired for Black Ops 4. Um, Cold War was very successful. They would because Cold War did absolutely everything opposite of what the toxic channels wanted, and that's how they became successful. And then now we're in Vanguard. Vanguard's doing well. There's nothing wrong with the gameplay. There's nothing wrong with it. It's pretty fun. It's pretty hard. It's actually more of like nostalgic zombies than it is at anything because it's pretty much just guns and zombies, and that's it. And that's what was the core of zombies, World at War and Black Ops 1 and stuff like that. Yeah, it doesn't have big, elaborate, complicated, convoluted Easter eggs, but everybody knows that only like a small percentage of people completed those. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap it up with that. I'll see you guys later.